Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh by Shem Shai by Shem Kakodah. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of you elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, Out of the Mouth of Babes and Sucklings. Even babies prophesy. So what I did, I typed in, I went to the blue letter, put in out of the mouth of babes, and this is what came up. Yahushua made this statement, and he was quoting Psalms 8, chapter 8, verse 2, which reads, out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hath thou ordained strength because of the enemy. We know who the enemy is. We know who the enemies are, that thou mightest still the enemy and the avenger. Matthew 21 verse 16, and said unto him, hearest thou what these say? So he's quoting Psalms, the psalmist, and Yahushua, not Jesus. The word shouldn't be there. The word, if you click on the word Jesus, Jesus, even the blue letter, and I'm going to prove that right quick for you new people. So when you come across this word right here, you can say Jesus, but what does it actually say? The word is Yahushua. Yahushua saith unto them, yeah, have ye never read, out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou hast perfected praise? Now you know what I'm going to do. Let me just click on this, and I'm going to just go to babes. I'm going to go to babes in Matthew, and then I'm going to go to the Psalms 8, and look up the word babes. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. This is concerning a video that I saw. I was getting ready to go to sleep, but I saw some of it. I didn't see the whole video. Okay, let me bring this over here. Oh, this is a video that was put up by GMS South Carolina 08, entitled Prophetic Image Drawn by a Child, Day of Doom. So you got before and you got after. And you see a missile. A precept that just came to mind was Joel. The perfect precept to go to is there's many scriptures on this. And I'm going to go into these scriptures, but Joel just popped into my head. And when I go into Joel, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is pretty much Joel chapter 2. So let me do this. Try not to make this long. I'm not going to make this long. So this is in the New Testament, babes. Now, ne or neo meaning new, like a newborn baby. Let me let you hear it.
Strong's G 3516. Napios. Napios.
Napios. An infant's little child, a minor. Right, a minor could be a 5-year-old child, 10-year-old child. Not of age. When do you actually become of age? When you're 12 years old. Metaphorically, childish, untaught, unskilled. Right. So that applies to, you can have a man that's in his 40s coming to this truth, and he's a babe. so you can understand. Let me go into the root of this word. Let me let you hear it.
Strong's G 2031. Epos. Epos.
Epos just means a word. Or I will say, Hebrews 7:9. And as I may so say, Levi also, who receiveth tithes, paid tithes in Abraham. The first person that received tithes was Abraham to Melchizedek, which is the Messiah. I'm sorry, let me do this. Let me go to back to babes. So you're going to have babies prophesying. One of the men in the GMS New York camp, I'm not going to mention his name, it's not important at this particular time. What is important is that he has a daughter, and she's 3, maybe 4. When she had it, this was what we're talking 2 years ago. She had the dream, or she saw the picture of Yahweh Shai, and she said that he's coming back, he's coming back soon. So she didn't have a dream about that. She just said it. So that was the spirit talking through her. Now, so here you got the word babe or babes in the New Testament 14 times. So let's just read some of these. At that time, Yahweh Shai answered and said, I thank thee, O Father. The word there is Kyries, or landlord, Lord, superior of heaven and earth. So this is Yahweh Shai talking to Yahweh, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent people that spend X amount of years in the theological seminary, which I call the cemetery. This is what the Most High said. So when you say I have this degree and I have that degree and I did this amount of, the Most High is not dealing with you. Remember, in Acts chapter 4, 12, 13 verse, thereabouts, it was said of the apostles that they were unlearned men. So all of a sudden now the Most High is dealing with people that have a master's degree at some theological cemetery. Has hid these things from the wise and prudent, and has revealed them unto babes. The babes is not talking about little babies. It's talking about babes, unskilled, unlearned. So when the apostles were referred to as unlearned, you could also use babies. They're babies in this thing. Well, the Most High gave this to babes. The Most High gives dreams to babies, Israelite babies, and Edomite and other nations' babies too. Remember, other nations have visions too. When I was speaking on 44th Street, I was in my 20s, and there was this Italian guy, and he stopped at the camp, and he looked at me, and he pointed at me, and he said, I had a dream about, I saw you in my dream, you doing this, standing up, teaching from the Bible. When he was in Italy years ago, he said, you were in my dream. Said a couple of words, and then he went on down the street. This is a guy that was born, raised, born and bred in Italy, but he saw me. He saw a vision of me in a dream. He said many years ago. And he went about his business. Okay, it says, and said unto him, hearest thou not these things? This is what it started with. right out of the mouth of babes, which he quoted Psalms 8, Luke 10 verse 21, and that hour, and in that hour Yahweh shall rejoice in the spirit and thank the Lord has hidden these things from wise and prudent, and hath revealed them unto babes. What did he reveal? The whole book, which includes the prophecies. And we know that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is not dealing with these scholars like West Huff or even Vocab and others, because they'll never argue with you about the prophecies, because they don't know the prophecies. They don't teach prophecies in seminaries, in these theological seminaries or cemeteries, because they don't know them. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. Romans 2 verse 20. An instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babes, which hath the form of knowledge and of the truth in the law. I could have opened that up and read a couple of verses above and a couple of verses below. 1 Corinthians 3 verse 1. And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto true. I couldn't get deep with you, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in the Messiah. So what does it mean by a babe in the Messiah or the Christ? Someone, a newcomer, a novice. You can be in your 50s, you come into this learning this, you are a newcomer. Normally what happens when somebody comes into this at an advanced age, in their 50s, maybe their 60s, they tend to think that they know more than you because they're older than you, and they wind up falling off. That goes to what? The wine, new wine goes in the new bottles, not new wine goes in the old bottles. So babes right here, right? How the Apostle Paul said I had to speak to you like I had to go on a baby level, like I had to go to the basic, to ABCs. I'll give you an example. When the Great Doctrine came out, all these different other One West camps, they attacked us for it. Instead of looking into it, why would they make a statement like that? Let me look into it, and they would see what we were talking about. They didn't put on a scholarly cap on, especially the IUIC, because they're not scholars. They're nowhere near scholars, because they don't. Now they're starting to. Now you got, if you notice, the bishop, he's going into, let's go to the Bible Hub where he got from me. Let's look that word up, or let's look that word up. And a lot of times he'll go to, that Christian publication, the word mark there said charagma, so he had to switch it up again. It's always switching up. It said, and brother, I could not speak unto you as unto spiritual. I couldn't get deep with you, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Yahushai, Hamashiach, rather, which means the Messiah. So these guys are emotional to this day. And the reason why, and the ones that really got, the camp that really got emotional was really the IUIC, and they're going into precepts. But then when you tell them to go into the Hebrew, we don't go into the Hebrew. Then why would you read out of the King James book? The King James book, you had, 47, if I'm not mistaken, it was 47 translators. There were a number of them, there were more of them on the Hebrew side, and then there was, you had a certain amount of number. You can easily do the math, go to Google. There were a certain number of them appointed to deal with the Hebrew and the Aramaic, because they say Daniel, the book of Daniel, was written in Aramaic, which is nothing but a form of Hebrew. And you had another group of 47, I believe it's 47, I'll double check that, fact check it, that they dealt with the Greek. And then when they made the first copy of the King James, they had to redo it. They had to redo it because they went off on certain things, so they had to revise it. Now, if you got the red book that we had, the small red Bible, the the beginning, the preface, as they call it, King James makes a statement. King James, Lord of the blah, 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 1611, blah, 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 blah. And he speaks about the translation, and they had to constantly revise it. Well, it was the first King James was written at a certain time. Then 7 years later, they had to rewrite the King James. Now they say the original King James is the T's look like F's and the S looks like whatever, and it's that heavy King's English, Old English. The King James that you use, scholars are saying that, I think it was I forget the year, but there was another King. The King James that we use is really not even the original King James, but it's almost close. That's why you have to go into the Hebrew and into the Greek. You have to put your scholar cap on. King James made a statement. He said, in not so many words, we believe that we're close to the translation, but there will come a day where somebody will do a perfect translation of that particular Bible. Remember, before that, you had the Geneva Bible, you had other Bibles, had the Vulgate, and so forth. So this right here, I'm sorry, let me come back over here. That's why the Apostle Paul said he had to talk to you like your babies. And these guys still, if anybody brings up that topic of the grape thing, that's them GMS, they grapists, man. Them guys are grapists. And they saying this in the Lord. Well, if you were a scholar, you would see it. Not an emotional bag of wind. 1 Corinthians, and you're guilty of taking away from the book. Revelation, well, that's in the law. Deuteronomy 4, Deuteronomy 6, Proverbs 30, Revelation 22, 18, and 19. If you take away from the book, or if you take it away from the book or you add to the book, you should be a part of the lake of fire. If you add or take away from the book. When I was a child, I spake as a child, understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. So the word child is the same word for babe. G35:16. So a babe doesn't actually mean an infant or a toddler, but it can mean that. A babe is also a man that comes into this thing. He might be 55 years old, 60 years old. He probably has a degree. He went to a seminary, theological seminary. And eventually he's going to buck up as to what we're saying, and we're going to ask him to leave, or he's going to leave. We did have an older gentleman that came in, and then he fell off. He came against us, and we kicked him out. And I said, yeah, because he was older than us. So he figured, man, I'm older than y'all. That goes back to the putting new wine in the old bottles. Ecclesiastes, the regular Ecclesiastes, not Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha 12, it speaks about coming into this when you're a young man. Galatians 4:1. Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all. What does that mean? What does that mean? Galatians 4:3, even so we, when we were children or babes, were in bondage under the elements of the world. So when people come into this truth, they buck up as to what we teach them, and they'll go back, well, the Christianity taught me this. Well, brother, you'll never get this if you got that Christian mindset. That's why Yahushua told Nicodemus, you must be born again. Going back to, you got to be a baby. You got to start all that stuff that you learned. You got to throw it out, and you got to have a clean mind. Ephesians 4 verse 14. Then I'm gonna get into the video. That we henceforth be no more children. Oh, this is my favorite. You really got to start from about the 11th verse. Tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness. See, a magician, they use a sleight of hand and make it look like what you see the magician do. It looks like magic, but it's really sleight of hand. It's cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Like a so-called Tazadakia, he said he was a comforter. He had to raise a bar on him because maybe they were doubting whether he's the truth is the Lord is dealing with him and stuff. So he said, "Oh, the Lord came to me, and he said I'm the God sent comforter," and all of them fell for it. Now Ariah, I don't believe he fell for it. I believe Ariah got some hush money. So if the Most High doesn't have mercy on Ariah, he's not going to make it. We'll see him in the kingdom. Hebrews 5 and 13. For everyone that uses milk is unskilled in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. Go back to the great doctrine. Everybody got all, and I was surprised that certain Israelites got all upset about it. Instead of saying, well, why would they make a statement like that? Let me look into it. Let me put my scholar cap on. It says, but strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both what? Good and evil. So you hear that great thing and it's evil to you until you study and you realize, wait a minute, that's in the law. We can't argue with the law. That's why you got a lot of these women that come in and they leave because they get emotional, and a lot of emotional men leave, but they're not of the elect in the first place. And the same guy that accused us of grape, which was polite, he's doing 7 years for grape. And that wasn't the first time. They just caught him on this time. And nobody talks to him. It's like he never existed. So anyway, let me go into this. And I'm just going to let it play. I'm just going to let it play because he's going to explain it in detail. So listen up.
Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS, Great Millstone. And this video is going to be entitled Prophetic Image Drawn by a Child. Prophetic image drawn or made by a child. Now, initially, I thought that this was a drawing. But it is a drawing, but it's also like a cutout of some sort. And like I do sometimes whenever I'm scrolling through YouTube, I will see images that brothers may post, or news or notes or different headline clippings, so that I can look up the line to see if it's real, to get more information for potential lessons. This particular day, probably 2 or 3 days ago, I was scrolling on YouTube, and one of the brothers had this in their images. I think it was the brother Magan from the brother got his own camp out there in Rapid Oaks? I think it's called Rapid something. It's in Michigan.
Grand Rapids.
All right, it's in Michigan. Anyway, that brother.
Grand Rapids, that's where Floyd was living. Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah, Magan. I can't remember the brother's whole name right offhand. But you brothers out there that's in the know, you should know. Anyway, he had a caption on this post, and it said that one of the brothers' daughter had made this. So obviously, that's a child, a young person. So this lets me know a couple of things. That number one, has either had a dream or a vision, or has been taught the scriptures of what's coming. But when you examine it, it's really, man, I was taken by surprise, but I also admired it. I thought it was awesome. So we're going to look at it. We're going to examine it.
I believe I don't have all the facts. Neither does the elder here. But she probably had a dream. Just like the young up-and-coming elder in our camp, little daughter. And he showed me a little video of she had to be, 3, maybe 4. And she even saluted me, on the video.
And we'll bring a few scriptures out. So you notice here, it says before and after, right? Now on the before side, what do you see? Let's see if we can't really get the before side. Let's see here. Hold on, y'all. See if I can do it on this one. I'm not able to do it. Anyway, let's do this. So on the before side, what do you see? You see a sunny day, blue sky, house, the sun, trees, grass, right? Then you see up there at the top, what do you see? A nuclear missile coming down out of the heavens, right? That's before. Over here you see after. What do you see after? You see red skies, fire, right? Tree, the house is gone. So this is a prophetic image. And it's really wonderful. It's just awesome. Number one, it's just awesome in general, just because of the image, but it's also awesome that a child believes. But what does that tell you? That, like we tell you all the time, the truth is only for who is for. It ain't for everybody. And it's not restricted to age, right? It's not restricted to like how much you know in the world. No, it's all about who the Heavenly Father.
The prophet Jeremiah was an adolescent. He received his calling before he experienced puberty. Could have been 10, 11 years old. And he said, when you go to the account of Jeremiah, first chapter, he telling the Lord, but how can I be a prophet? I'm a kid. Most I don't care. He said he made you a prophet. And then people are going to be against you. Most High put the spirit on Jeremiah.
Chooses to receive his truth. And obviously here, this child has been taught, understands, and believes what's written in the scriptures. And we see this in the Bible. We see, let's go real quick. I thought of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, and verse 43. Let's go there. We start at 42. It says, he answered me and said, this present life is not the end, where much glory doth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. Here's the point. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time and the beginning of the immortality which is for to come. So what you see in the image of is the day of doom, before the day of doom and after the day of doom. As we know, America, Babylon the Great, is going to get destroyed with nuclear destruction. That's why you see a warhead, a missile, coming down, and it's clearly marked with that symbol for radioactive, just like a nuke would be marked. It's coming down to a perfect house, sunny, grass and all that. Then what's left behind? Blood, fire, pillars of smoke. Excellent. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time and the beginning of the immortality which is for to come, wherein corruption is past. The day of doom.
Corruption is past. Is this corrupt society, this corrupt system, and we believe it's going to happen during the Trump administration.
Is what the young sister saw in the the young sister put down. Also, we're going to this whole Isaiah 34, because this is the way in which these...
Isaiah 34, one of my favorite prophetic... you know how I feel about them prophetic scriptures, brothers and sisters. That's a beautiful chapter. Isaiah 34, Isaiah 14, 13, Jeremiah. You know me, Jeremiah 49, 50, 51, Revelation 18. Matter of fact, the whole book from the first chapter to the last chapter. Daniel, you know me, Joel.
Nuclear warheads are going to be shot off via World War III or Armageddon. Okay? It's going to be a great world war. And through it, the nukes are going to be shot off and they're going to hit Babylon the Great. And it's going to destroy the empire of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. So in Isaiah 34:1, the heading says, it says God, but it's the Most High's wrath against nations. Verse 1 says, come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people. Let the earth hear.
As you read it, it's focusing on one nation. The nations are not going to be, their lands are not going to lose their lands. The only land that's going to be lost forever is Babylon the Great. And all these other nations, pursuant to Revelation 18, they're going to look from a far distance and they're going to cry. They're not crying. Some of them are going to cry, oh, this great city, oh my goodness, I always wanted to go to America. But there's going to be others that's going to cry because that's their cash cow. That's where they get their money. You know, the American people are basically stupid. I remember, you know how hard it was years ago to get a credit card, brother? It's hard to get a credit. You feel like you get, brother. Then all of a sudden, I started getting all these. You know, I got at one time I got 12 different credit cards, and I used maybe 2 of them. Then I cut the account. I only got 1 credit card. Matter of fact, I got to check the balance on one of them. I got 1 credit card. I got a debit card, and I got a debit card that you load with money, which I hardly ever use that. But if I'm at like a BJ, what is it? Yeah, BJ's or whatever, or a store, and I can't use cash at the because I don't line up. I go right to the self checkouts because I'm in and out. I'm in and out. You know. Anyway, I'm sorry, but let me just let this play. I'm going off into a rant.
All that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. Now, oftentimes we say that the gospel is only for the Israelites, and that's true. But the whole world will bear witness. They will hear about this gospel being preached because, number one, they must know what people they come from. That's not a prerequisite for them, you know, for the end to come. But everybody will hear about this. Also, number 2, you have the Israelites scattered among all nations, and the word of the Lord will act as a sifter among the nations. Let's get that real quick. Amos. For what purpose, though? See, the whole earth is going to hear about the truth, but it's not for them, but this is what it's for. Amos 9:8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord. So, sinful kingdom today is America, Babylon the Great. Now, it used to be talking about the Israel, now talking about Babylon.
Good point. And I always say that this scripture really applies to Israel when he says, I'm going to destroy it from off the face of the earth. It's talking about Israelites being scattered and being destroyed from the nations. But he's not going to completely destroy the Israelites. So this applies to Esau now. Not the Ishmaelites, not the Moabites. It applies to Esau now. That one particular kingdom.
For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. Like his corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So the word is going to go throughout the whole earth. That's why the gospel must be preached, and everybody's going to hear about it. And the elect are going to come forth. The Lord is going to sift out the house of Israel. That's the ones that won't be destroyed. When the Lord said, I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, these are the ones he was referring to. He's not going to destroy his elect. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. Like his corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Right? All those who don't adhere to the word of the Lord, that don't repent, they will be destroyed. Right here. They're going to be in that after. They're going to be in the before and the after. Before, they're going to be enjoying life. After, they're going to be in the spiritual realm, because everything that they know is going to be burned up if they're over here in Babylon the Great. Going back to Isaiah 34 and 2, it says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. The Lord's anger is upon all the nations, and his fury upon armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. And we call the slaughter World War III. But in the Bible, it's known as Armageddon. It says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from off the vine, and as a falling fig from a fig tree. Right, and this is showing it. Now, it didn't show the literal mushroom cloud, but it does show a place that's been burnt afterwards, right? Now it goes on, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So here you see, when the scripture talk about the heaven.
So for you newer people, that's getting ready to happen. And the Idumea, when you can click on the word Idumea, the blue letter takes you back to the word Edom, or the Edomites. So you got certain people, oh, the curse is coming on Esau, not the children of Esau. When it says Idumea, it's Edomites, the children of Esau.
Heavens being rolled together as a scroll is speaking to nuclear destruction, more importantly, the mushroom cloud. So you see that after. And this is a prophecy in the Bible. And a child made this cutout and painted this image. You see that? Very important.
Now let me check something here. Give me a second. I gotta find it. I believe day nor night. It should come up. It should come up. Bear me for a minute. Okay, let me check this one. Zechariah 14 and 7. But it shall be one day which shall be known to Yahweh, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. Evening time is when it's dark, but it shall be light. What's going to happen is it'll be a day where everybody's shot. That's in Matthew 24, also Luke 21, also Luke 17. It'd be like in the day of Noah, day of Sodom and Gomorrah. They would marry and given into marriage and so forth. So when the missiles be shot, people are going to be conducting business. People are going to have the microchips. They're going to get chipped up, buying things with the chip and so forth. Marrying, giving in marriage is going to be a beautiful day. It'll be a bright sun. It's not going to rain on that day. It's going to be a nice day. Everybody's happy. And then it's going to go, the skies are going to be bright daytime, and everything going to go black, because the missiles are going to come as the form of clouds, dark black clouds, and it's going to block out the sun and the sky, and everything's going to go black. And then everything's going to get light again because of the destruction from the missiles, the fire from the missiles. And that goes into, that's going to be in the midst of Jacob's trouble. So in the midst of Jacob's trouble, there's going to be people catching hell, but some people that are doing okay. So it says, but it shall be one day, I may go up on this, which shall be known to Yahweh, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. When it's dark, there's going to be light, and that's from the missiles. Let me see. Let me just open this up. And I want to go on to Joel. Joel chapter 2. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark. 8th verse. And it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be. Now you can't have summer and winter at the same time, right? Right, and then it said the Most High will be king over them all. 9th verse. And Yahweh shall be king over all the earth. So this is obviously talking about the kingdom. And in order for the kingdom to be established, they got to take down the former kingdom. Revelation 21. The new heavens and a new earth. For the former heaven and earth was done away with, meaning Esau's kingdom. And Yahweh shall be king over all the earth. And that day shall there be one Yahweh, and his name one. That's the Shemais. All the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up, and the inhabitants in her place, from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananel unto the king's wine presses. A man shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. That's the kingdom. That's the kingdom. So before the kingdom, this has to take place. It should be a time where it's neither day nor night, but I'll read it again. But it shall be one day, right, and 1 hour of one day, which shall be known to Yahweh. Known to Yahweh, only Yahweh knows the time that he's going to make this thing happen. The angels don't know, the sun don't know. Not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. When did you ever experience nighttime and it was like the daytime? I believe I seen that one time when I was a kid. The sun had went down and I think it stayed. It was like 9 o'clock or so, and it was still daytime. It only happened one time. It wasn't on the news and nothing like that. But yeah, so this is talking about the destruction. This is talking about the destruction of this place. The downfall of Babylon is all throughout the scriptures, but it's written in code. Now I said, when I saw that image, first precept that came to mind was Joel 2. And the elder even said it's like it's nice trees. It's like the Garden of Eden, right? That's what I thought about. So Joel, then I'm gonna close. Joel 2. I'll start from the top. Blow the trumpet in Zion. That's what we're doing. We're blowing the trumpet, telling the people, and sounding the alarm in my holy mountain. Holy mountain represents the people before it's a place. Let all the inhabitants, the Israelites, which are scattered, mainly the focus is here in America. Don't listen to that blockhead Nate. Oh, you got to go to another country and you got to face them face to face. Well, the Apostle Paul and the different apostles, they never met these saints that came in. They communicate them by epistles. So what the hell are you talking about, bonehead? inhabitants of the land tremble, because this earthquake, great, the whole earth is going to rock back and forth, right? Isaiah 24. For the day of Yahweh cometh, which is the destruction, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people, now this great people and the strong, the 7 used to teach that was talking about Israelites going to jack up, the other nations, Micah 5 and 7. No, the great people and the strong are the missiles, the IC, intercontinental ballistic missiles. A great people and the strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Meaning these missiles are only set up, the Most High put the spirit on the scientists to put these missiles together for one reason and one reason only, is to destroy Babylon the Great. And then there's not going to be no more need for the missiles. It says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. Let's go back to the picture. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. So when the missiles are in the sky, you're going to see trees, you're going to see birds, the sun, the clouds, everybody's shopping, people are catching hell, people are getting married, people are shopping. Let me read that again. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them after a desolate wilderness, and nothing shall escape them. So what does that say? Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Behind them a desolate wilderness. Everything's going to be laid flat. The elements shall melt with fervent heat. So this thing is getting ready to come. You have this baby, the brother's daughter. And he didn't. I don't think he taught it that. She memorized it. She probably had a dream, but the brother, the elder, whatever, he can do a video explaining this. So come on back. So it said, before them a Garden of Eden, and behind them a desolate wilderness, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. It's talking about missiles, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains, and shall they leap. Right, the ICBM missiles goes up and outside the atmosphere, comes back in the atmosphere in an arcing fashion, and it does its destruction. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people, which are the missiles, set in battle array. Now, when the scriptures say the Most High is the Lord of hosts, the word host means armies. And one of his armies are these missiles. Before their faces the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. And Isaiah says something similar. Their faces shall be as flames, or their facade shall be as flames. They shall run like mighty men. These are the missiles. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone in his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. It's not talking about men, it's talking about missiles. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone, or go. The word there for walk in the Hebrew is halak, or go, one in his path. Because remember, these missiles are guided. Those ICBM missile systems, they're guided. There's a guidance system by the Russians, right? And the other nations that have these missiles. And when they fall upon the sword, this is your, like in Israel, you have a Scud missile system, you have Iron Dome. It's not going to work. The Iron Dome's not going to work. The Scud missile system is not going to work. Your defenses are not going to work. That's what is it? Nahum 3. They shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. What's the city? We spoke about that last night. The city is Babylon the Great. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Now, I remember Ariel said, see, you're going to have Jakes going into people's houses and breaking their windows and taking shit. You know, that they ain't talking about that. This has nothing to do with people. It's talking about missiles. The earth shall quake before them. Before what? The missiles. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be what? Dark. What's going to make the sun darken? The missiles are going to cover the sky. It's going to be a bright, shiny day, and everything going to go black, and then it's going to go light again from the destruction of the missiles. And the stars shall withdraw their shining. And Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army. What is his army? His army, the men of Israel are his army. But you have the missiles. That's another one of his army. Then you got the angels. When the angels come back, led by Yahweh Shai, that's another army. For his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word, because the Most High said it, so it's said, so let it be done. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? If you are here in America, you're done. You're done. You're finished. Therefore also now, saith Yahweh, turn ye even to me with all your heart. When you come into this truth, you got to come into this truth with all your heart. You can't come into this truth half-assed. You come into this truth half-assed, the Most High going to put the spirit on you, you're going to be out of here. And we've seen it. We've seen it through the years. And with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto Yahweh, your power, your God, for he is gracious and merciful. He's talking to the elect of Israel, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent, and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto Yahweh the Most High. Blow the trumpet in Zion. When you go out there and put these videos up and you speak, you're blowing the trumpet. Sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly. So you got to take this thing serious, right? Let me read this and I'm going to close it. Gather the people, sanctify the congregation. I said congregation mean the men. Assemble the elders, gather the children and those that suck the breast. That's talking about infants, toddlers, babies, youngins, kids under 12. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, that's Yahweh Shai, and the bride out of her closet. Let me let you just listen to a little bit more and then I'm going to close.
Now it goes on. And what it told you says, my sword shall be bathed in heaven. The sword of the Lord in this regard is those nuclear warheads. And you see a missile right here. Where is it at? It's in the heaven above the earth. It's not on the earth, but it's in the heavens. You see it up there in the sky, right? For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Same group. The Idumeans, the Edomites, the so-called white man, They're the people of the Lord's cursed to judgment, and they're cursed. And all Israelites who don't repent, they're going to be a part of that curse over here in Babylon the Great, because you won't do the thing that would get you out of the punishment, which is repent. Verse 6 says, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the
land of Idumea, scholars will say the land of Idumea is Mount Seir. Yes, it is, but the land of Idumea is talking about America. So this place is also known spiritually. This place is known as Sodom and Egypt, but it's spiritually known as Idumea. Basra, this is the new Basra. Idumea, this is the new Idumea. So this land, because Edomites have control of it, they call it America, but it's actually the land of Idumea. So the focus is on this country. Does it mean all the Edomites are going to be destroyed? No. You're going to have Edomites scattered throughout the world. Remember, the Edomites are scattered just like the Israelites. You got Edomites all over the world too. But they're all going to be gathered, and they're all going to be shackled up, and we're going to give them work assignments, which is slavery. And it's right, it's here. It's at the door. It's at the door.
Unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood.
And so the Most High is talking about this destruction as a sacrifice, and he even used the word sacrifice. Sacrifice. You sacrifice on the altar. America is an altar. The holy men, the prophets are on the altar. That's why when they say you don't like America, leave it. I said, no, we got to be here. We're the prophets. We have to be in this land. When Daniel prophesied when he was in the land of when he's under the Babylonians, he prophesied. Moses and Aaron and so forth received prophecies from the Most High while they were in Egypt. So and Rome, 2,000 years ago, which this is Rome all over again, you had the prophets. That's why Claudius had banished the Christians and the Jews, because they were prophesying all over the place. Go to Google and put in why did this guy, the Caesar, he pushed out all the Israelites and the Christians, which are Israelites. He said because they were raised in hell, they were protesting. Some of them were just protesting against the kingdom, and others were protesting, that they were committing sin. I'm talking about Claudius did that. All you got to do is look it up. He said they became a nuisance to the people. And we're doing the same thing right now. So I believe that Donald Trump, a.k.a. Nero, Emperor Nero, he's going to come against it. He's going to mention us. These black, you know how he does with the thing with the hand, these black Hebrew Israelites, these anti-Semitic black Hebrew, we got to get them. We got to lock them up. Well, he's that guy. And we strongly believe he's going to introduce this microchip, and then everybody going to see it, especially you, Bishop Nate, especially you. I hope you're on the horse on that day when you hear it, because you're gonna have a lot of explaining to do. Anyway, with that, you can watch the rest of this video right here. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.